For millennia, humanity has always been fascinated with what lies beyond the physical realm. A large part of our population have been interested in and preoccupied themselves with the supernatural, that which goes above and beyond nature or reality, and those which are not observable or a part of a tangible or measurable universe. We're all naturally curious of the unknown, which is why many of us seek the transcendental truths and the divine. Among those who believe that something lies beyond our material world, there are those who claim that there is a way to break the barrier that separates the physical and the spiritual, a way that human beings can see what should not be seen, hear what should not be heard, and sense what should not be sensed. This is what they call the third eye, and this mystical extra eye, believed to be innate in all humans, is referred to in the field of science and modern biology as the pineal gland. As biological science would explain it, the pineal gland, also known as the conarium or the epiphysis cerebri, is a tiny endocrine gland located inside the brain. Its size is no bigger than a pea and is situated deep into the core of the brain, in between the left and right hemispheres. This endocrine gland gets its name from the Latin word pinea, which translates to pine cone, and is named as such because its shape resembles one. The pineal gland is a very small reddish-gray organ which measures only about 1 centimeter in length and is attached to the posterior end of the roof of the human brain's third ventricle. It is mainly comprised of pineal cells as well as neuroglial cells, and so far its known main purpose is the synthesis and secretion of a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin is a simple hormone, but is also considered to be very special because its secretion is dictated by light. As a hormone, it communicates information about environmental lighting to various parts of the human body. According to researchers, melatonin has two primary functions in human beings. First is to help entrain our circadian or biological rhythm, and the second is to regulate certain reproductive hormones. Human circadian rhythm is a 24-hour biological cycle which is characterized by sleep-wake patterns. Daylight and darkness help dictate a person's circadian rhythm. Exposure to light stops the secretion of melatonin, which in turn helps in controlling circadian rhythms. Because melatonin secretion is low during the daylight hours and high during dark periods, it influences our body's reaction to photoperiod, which is defined as the length of day versus night. Since photoperiod affects sleep patterns, melatonin plays a role in controlling our sleep habits, though the extent of its impact is still disputed. Melatonin also blocks the secretion of pituitary hormones that aid in the development and functioning of reproductive organs such as the ovaries and testes. For such a tiny structure, the pineal gland's full purpose remains shrouded with a bit of mystery. Since its function was the last one to be discovered among the endocrine glands, research is still ongoing in an attempt for humans to get a closer understanding of this mysterious organ. In the past and until now, various spiritual traditions and their devout believers consider the pineal gland as the third eye, and activating it is associated with accessing a higher mystical level of inner vision, insight, and wisdom. In fact, René Descartes, the father of modern philosophy, once described the pineal gland as the seat of the soul. The pineal gland has been connected with the concept of spirituality in many ancient traditions and is subtly represented in modern establishments as well. Its pine cone shape, for instance, is found in many art and artifacts of various traditions, where it serves as a symbol of enlightenment and immortality. For example, the ancient Egyptians held the pineal gland in such high regard that it is even preserved separately during the process of mummification. There are also claims that the Egyptians associated the pineal gland with the symbol of an eye, which is very prevalent in their discovered art and artifacts. In Greek mythology, the Greek god Dionysus carries a pine cone staff, while the Babylonian god Tammuz is also pictured carrying a pine cone. The Hindu religion, on the other hand, depicts all of its gods with a third eye located in the center of their forehead. Even the Roman Catholic faith utilizes the pine cone as a symbol. And not only does the church have a huge sculpture of a pine cone in the Vatican Square called the Court of the Pine Cone, the religion also uses ornaments as well as candle holders decorated with pine cone designs. A reference to the pineal gland can also be seen on the back of the United States $1 bill, called the All-Seeing Eye. Some argue that this may just be a subtle depiction of the nation's close relationship to Freemasonry, which, by the way, also uses a lot of pine cone or pineal gland symbolism. However, there are also those who claim this to be a reference to the mystical abilities of people which are hiding inside an unlocked endocrine gland. In modern times, many believe that every human being's pineal gland or third eye can be activated to frequencies of the spiritual world, giving us the power to sense the all-knowing, godlike euphoria and oneness that surrounds us all. They believe that the pineal gland can be tuned into the proper frequencies with the help of meditation, yoga, and other esoteric or occult methods. And once a person has achieved this state, he or she has the ability to travel into other dimensions, which is properly known as astral travel or astral projection. Through more advanced and ancient methods, they also believe it is possible for people to control the thoughts and actions of other people in the physical world. Some of those who believe in the spiritual power hidden in the pineal gland are also of the opinion that there are strong forces in our society which have taken great lengths to ensure that we never access and unleash this innate potential within ourselves. The elaborate conspiracy involves the suppression of the pineal gland through people's unwitting consumption of sodium fluoride. In the late 90s, the first study on the effects of sodium fluoride to the pineal gland was carried out. It was determined that this tiny gland is actually a prime target for fluoride since it absorbs more of this chemical than any other physical matter in the body, including the bones. Because sodium fluoride is attracted to the pineal gland like a magnet, this leads the gland to calcify like stone, rendering it ineffective in fulfilling its biological as well as spiritual functions. Nowadays, fluoride is prevalent in the food we eat and the beverages we drink. Even the majority of the water supply in the United States are infused with sodium fluoride. Water fluoridation has always been a controversial issue, not just for those with spiritual beliefs, but for everyone. Though it is widely accepted that fluoride is toxic in high doses, a trend in the 20th century emerged which added this chemical to people's drinking water at so-called safe doses. Where did this trend begin? Well, fluoride was introduced by the Nazis and Russians in the water supplies of their concentration camps so that their prisoners remain docile and don't question authority. Now, for how water fluoridation was introduced in America, there are theories claiming that a large corporation was behind the practice, namely DuPont, stemming from an elaborate orchestration that allowed an industry to dump toxic waste into the public water supply while getting paid to do so under the claim that it was healthy for people. However, there are also those who are of the opinion that water fluoridation is actually a sinister plan by powerful, shadowy forces to reduce an individual's power to resist domination and to suppress a person's ability to awaken the powers of their own consciousness, thereby preventing them from reaching their full potential. Regardless of whether the pineal gland is indeed a link to a divine realm beyond our observable plane of existence, it cannot be denied that this tiny pea-sized and pine cone-shaped organ is a valuable part of the human anatomy. However, though we are aware of some of its biological functions, the full purpose of the pineal gland remains to be an exciting scientific question which invites further research and investigation. And since science and modern biology are still working to unlock its remaining mysteries and secrets, there might be a future somewhere in the horizon in which the pineal gland could truly be heralded as humankind's third eye.